What I wanted to do is record a video which responds to some of the questions posed in the comment section of the YouTube channel Debsterism. Now, I recorded this, well, at least I thought I was, this morning. It recorded the video, but it did not record the audio for some unknown reason. So I have to do it all over again. So, you know, I'm just kind of irritated. But I have 4 questions here, and I'm going to respond to each of them because, you know, each one by itself wasn't long enough to respond to in a video. But together they make a pretty good package. So let me get started. Okay, this first video was posted under the comment of the new MGTOW video, Angry MGTOW Men Out to Destroy Female Egos. And this guy was a bit upset. He's quoting what I said in the video, that 95% of men deserve to be rejected. It's 100% men's fault that their relationships are fucked up. And then he goes on. He says, you say shit like this and wonder where the MGTOW movement comes from? You pretty much validate half what the man says with shit like this, Deb. People like you give people like him a platform. I thought you of all people would know better. Okay, so let me address that. Number one, even though I've had my YouTube channel since 2009, I didn't really start using it until last summer. It is my understanding that MGTOW has been around for 7 or 8 years. So there's no platform that I gave them to do anything. They already were doing that before I even heard about MGTOW. So get your facts straight. Number two, so, you know, where MGTOW comes from, it comes from wherever the fuck it came from. I didn't have shit to do with that. Number three, 94% of men deserve to be rejected is true. Because of the fact that most of you overreach. You're 2, you're 5, and you keep trying to go for women who are 10. Of course your asses are going to get rejected. Even if the woman is on your same level as far as desirability, looks, and education and all that kind of stuff, she still has to be attracted to you. Just because you're attracted to her does not mean she owes you shit. Okay, so she's going to reject you because for her, you don't make the mark. You're not good enough. She doesn't want you. She sees no physical or sexual attraction to you whatsoever. There's nothing about you that makes her want to cuddle, kiss, or fuck you. And so she rejects you. That's what women do. Okay, just like employers, you come in, you apply for the job. You don't quite make the mark. You're not the best applicant. You get rejected. I don't see y'all making videos about that shit, but when a woman rejects you, you feel you get all in your feelings like we owe you something. We don't owe you a goddamn thing. Now, secondly, you got to remember this. Okay, fourthly, whatever the fuck number I'm on. It is 100% men's fault that your relationships are fucked up. Every single one of you that end up in divorce court, you put yourselves there. And let me tell you how that happened. Because this is one of the main things that MGTOWs complain about. Is, you know, that so many of you end up divorced. You end up divorced because you're stupid. You know what? Because, see, good husbands who pay attention to their wives, who resolve problems with their wives or for their wives, the husbands who are there emotionally, physically, and mentally, as well as financially, they don't get divorced. It's only the ones who cheat, who lie, who say nasty things, call their women names, who don't hold up their end of the bargain and make her have to do all the work. All of those kind of things contribute to you ending up in divorce court. Because she's going to take it for a little while. She's going to keep saying stuff like, oh, you know, I don't see you much anymore. You know, I don't really feel like we don't really have enough time together. You know, I'm so tired from doing all this stuff. You know, it would be nice if I had some help. You know, she says things like that, right? But you ignore her. You act like you didn't hear it. You don't want her to have to, you don't want to have to do anything to change the program that you're on because you're comfortable and happy. You assume that everybody else is. So your woman is constantly telling you these things. She's asking for help. She's asking for resolutions to problems. She's asking for you to treat her differently or not say certain things to her, not talk to her like that. All these things that women would ask you for, and you ignore her. You just, you know, you just basically just act like it's not important. And after she feels like she's not important to you long enough, she packs her shit and she leaves. So, you know, you picked her, right? You, out of all the women in the world, you honed in on this one. You went after her number. You picked her up and you took her on dates. You proposed marriage to her. with all of that in mind, you took the lead there. You're supposed to keep taking the lead as through the course of your relationship. If anything goes wrong, you're supposed to fucking handle it. Okay? When y'all don't do that, when you sit on your ass and you just try to make her do everything or handle everything by herself, or you feel like, well, I got her now, so I can take it for granted. I don't have to do the stuff that I had to do to get her. See, that's what gets you in divorce court. So every single one of you, you know, your woman loved you. She wanted to be with you. She wanted to build a life with you. She looked at happily ever after. That's why she agreed to get with you. Every single man who's in a fucked up relationship, y'all fucked it up. Okay, she had no intention of changing partners. She loves you. But you fucked it up. You hurt her. And so she's off to the next dude because she's tired of your shit. So, yeah, 95% of men deserve to be rejected because most of you aren't going to act right. And then the other ones that do, you know, you get in there and act right, and then you start fucking up. You start dropping the ball. And you just, you know, you mess everything up, and so she ends up leaving you. So that's it. I stand by my statement. My statistics are 100% correct. You don't like it, I don't know what to tell you. Next question. This young lady, this is posted under the video, his bitch ass mama. Talking about men who are, you know, mama's boys. So she asks, how can I deal with my son's father's mother? So let's see, son's father, okay, that's the baby daddy's mama. So that makes her the grandmother of the baby. Okay. She keeps on asking me if she can take my son by herself to her house. Mind you, my baby's only 4 months old. What is the best way to handle this situation? The best way to handle this situation is to tell her no. That will not be happening now or in the future. I'm going to suggest to you, since you're not married to this man, that you take yourself down to legal aid, unless you have money for a lawyer or you personally know one, and you file for sole legal and physical custody. You're not married. So he has really only the rights that you give him unless he fights you for, you know, he fights against the stuff. Most of them are not going to do that. What you need to have is a situation in place so that they cannot take your baby out of state without your permission and consent. And so they cannot get your baby medical treatment. So they cannot cut your baby's hair. They cannot do anything to your child, get it inoculations, put anything on his skin, anything without your consent. And if they do, you take their asses to court and throw them in jail. This is something that I recommend that all women do that are in these baby daddy situations. Unless he's going to be an active participant in a child's life and have joint legal, because some do, you know, and they step up and they're really, you know, right there on the spot. But it doesn't sound like this is what's going on here, because it's not the daddy asking to take him, it's his mother. So see, she has no legal rights other than what you give her. So I would suggest, since you don't know what's going on at her house, you don't know who's going to be there, you don't know how she's going to take care of the kid, you don't know what she's going to feed the child, you don't know if she's planning to run off with the child or give the kid to your baby daddy so he can run off with the child. You don't know anything about what's going to be going on with a 4-month-old infant. My answer to that question is no, hell to the no, fuck no, all kind of no's, that she's not taking your baby anywhere out of your sight. Now what you can tell her is, you're welcome to come over here any, you know, time. Just call me, we'll set up a time where you can come over and you can visit with the baby, or I'll come over there and you can visit with the baby. But the baby will be nowhere that I'm not. And you just make her understand that your baby's not going off nowhere without you. And they're, you know, at 4 months old, shit, even at 4 years old, you know, you don't know what's going on and what kind of strange ass people, uncles and shit might be around there molesting your child and doing all kind of crazy shit. You need to keep an eye on your child. This is the same thing I say to every woman. Don't trust nobody around your baby. They raping baby girls as much as they are rape baby boys these days. So you can't think just because you have a son that, you know, he's going to be immune to it, because that's not true. And, you know, I mean, they could do something, you know, even like smoking. You know, smoking cigarettes, messing up your kids' lungs, smoking drugs, doing drugs, drinking, and then trying to hold your baby, drop the baby. All kind of shit happens that, you know, ends up hurting a child and damaging it for life. And the mother doesn't know what, you know, what happened. Your baby went over there and it was fine, and then the baby comes back and it's not fine. And you don't, nobody knows nothing. And the baby's only 4 months old, they can't talk. So you prevent that kind of shit. That's the way I am. You know, if you see a potential problem, you step in and you prevent the potential problem from causing a problem. And for me, that would be no. Your baby don't go nowhere that you don't go. And make sure you stick to that rule until your child is old enough to know how to use the telephone and to call you if any bullshit goes down. That is the only age, you know, what's that, about 6, 5, something like that. Then maybe your kid can go over there. But other than that, no. Okay, so that was the questions 1 and 2. So now we move on to question 3. This one is also in response to the you know, the one about the wife. A man's wife is his greatest masterpiece. These last two questions are on that video. So this guy says, would you agree that there are some women who create stress and drama in relationships, or do you say that it all originates with a man? No, they all originate with a man. Let me explain to you why. When a woman is well loved, when she feels like she has emotional support, when she has good communication, when her man is showing her open affection and consideration, there's nothing for her to say. She won't do or say anything. She'll just be grinning all the time. Now, if your woman is causing stress and drama, that's because you're not on your job. That's it. She needs something from you and you're not giving it to her. She's most likely asked you for it 50 times and you ignored her, like I said earlier. That's how you guys do. You feel like what she's saying is not important. What she's saying is nothing but drama. But see, in her mind, this is important. This is something she needs from you. But you blow it off as being drama and stress, and so you just don't want to be bothered. You ain't trying to hear it. See, that kind of callous disregard for your mate's feelings is why your asses end up in divorce court. I don't know how many times to tell you guys this. No man is divorced who didn't put himself in court. He did that to himself. You guys do this to yourself. By the way that you treat your women. You talk to them all kinds of fucked up ways. You ignore them. You roll your eyes. You hiss and grunt. She asks for you for help and you ask you to do something. Oh, I'll do it later. So in the meantime, she's getting frustrated because she needs you to do whatever she asks you to do so that she can continue on with her task. But you hold up the whole program by sitting on your ass and not doing it. The most happiest married man, this man had been married for 50 years, told me that his secret to his marital success was he would go to work and he would come home and he'd give his wife his check. You know, this is the old days before banking. I mean, dude's like in his 80s, late 80s now. And he told me that that's what he would do. And then he would sit on the couch and watch TV. He'd start watching the news or whatever. He said his wife would holler out his name and say, I need you to do blah, blah, blah. He said he would get up and he would do blah, blah, blah. And then he would go and sit back down. So his wife never had to get frustrated with him for not doing what she asked him to do. He not only did it, he did it right away. And so he was extremely responsive to her needs. He was helpful. He did what she asked him to do. He was an active partner. Now, see, what you guys want to do is do what you want to do. You don't want to help her. You only want to give the help that you want to do. And see, it's like you have this view that that women are there to serve you or something. I don't know what y'all be thinking. But it's supposed to be a partnership where you guys work together. Okay? And she's going to do her part. She's going to do more than her part. So you need to step up and do what she asked you to do. And stop thinking of it as being a simp or a wimp and all this old silly shit you hear from these unmarried men online who are never going to have a wife because they don't know how to fucking act. Don't pay any attention to them. Because they're no resource for information on how to treat a wife. They've never had one and they never will. So if you are lucky enough to have a woman who's signed on to be your wife, count your blessings and then get off your ass and become an active supporter of that woman in your household, with your kids, with the family, building the family, repairing stuff around the house. If you can't do it yourself, make sure it gets handled. Hire a contractor. Do stuff that keeps your home safe and your woman happy and your kids safe and your kids happy. And then you won't be in divorce court. It's very simple. I don't know why you guys don't get this and you want to sit around ranting and raving about you getting have your shit taken. It deserves to be taken because you fucked up. Okay, and when you fuck up, that's what happens. Okay, and the last part, he says also, the Eastern world has a much richer view of marriage and relationships. Family orientation and community continuity are the foundations for longevity. I recall my tours to the East as a Marine. Those cultures are very pure. In the West, focus is placed on self, not community. Perfect shining example, that fool that y'all voted in. Okay, this is #1 narcissist in the nation. He's supposed to be the leader of the free world. He is a fucking joke. He's all about himself, to the point where he's like putting millions of seniors with no food and millions of families with no health care. What the fuck are they gonna do? They would rather spend the money on bombs and shit than on the health and security and safety of the country's residents. I see no logic and no benefit in that man being in office. So you want to talk about family orientation and stuff like that, and like trying to blame it on women? You get the fuck out of here, all the way the fuck out of here. That's men. Once again, that's men. So, and also in the Eastern culture, they don't value women. So there's no, what you talking about, you romanticizing some bullshit. Yeah, they all about the men and all that, because to the point where all these cultures like in India and China, they all focus on having sons, to the point where they would get prenatal testing to find out what the gender of the baby is, and then they would kill it if it was a girl, or they would have it and just abandon it on the street. In India, there are thousands of orphanages where little girls live because nobody wants them. So they're being raised up by, you know, strangers and nuns or whatever. People that, you know, are trying to provide a safe environment for them where they can learn something and learn a trade and be off the street. But what about the kids who don't have all that? They're living on the street. They're prostituting themselves. They're being killed and sold into sex slavery. All these little, like millions of little girls. Okay, this is what happens to them. And you want to tell me that they have a much richer view of marriage and relationships and family orientation? The fuck they do. They only have that when it's a male, not when it's a female. And the same shit goes on in China. But see, the people that did that were very short-sighted. Okay, you want somebody to carry on your family name and, you know, to pass your business on to, and this, you want to continue this family continuity that you're talking about. How the fuck are they going to do that with no woman? Please explain that to me. They done killed off all the girls. So now it's like these men, it's like 10, 12, 15 dudes to every single available woman. So it's going to be a whole bunch of families that killed off a daughter. They're not going to have any legacy. Their son's not going to get married. There's not going to be no grandchildren, because there's no girls for those boys to marry. It's no girls for them to mate with even. So a lot of them are going to die virgins. So, you know, these people have a very short-sighted and very uninteresting view of these Eastern cultures. I look at these cultures from the feminist point of view, and I see no benefit to them for women whatsoever. Those men are extremely controlling, dominating. Even in a situation like in Korea, the tradition is the girl goes and lives with her husband's family, right? So she becomes a resident of her in-laws' house. Now, the nice ones, she shares in the chores. And the ones that aren't so nice, you basically becomes a slave. And she has to cook and clean and do everything for all these people in this household. And that's the daughter-in-law's role. Okay. So I don't see where that's a benefit to her. I mean, just to be married, you have to become a fucking slave. And, you know, it's in some cultures, like in India, there's all stories about the mother-in-laws beating the wife. You know, they just feel like free to hit her and treat her very cruelly, like she's nothing but a slave. So, you know, I understand that what you saw in your tours as a Marine, and you see the cultures are pure. Look deeper, dude. Look deeper. Don't be so looking at the surface of shit. You got to look deeper and understand the meaning of things. Don't just look at the outside and look at the pretty picture. Pull the bow off and look at what's really in the box, and you will see that it ain't shit. Is more the women need to focus more on themselves. That's the problem. For centuries, women have always been trained to focus on men, and it's time for that to change. Women need to focus on themselves, not men and not children. I mean, you take care of your kids if you decide to have any, but you know, you give them what they need. They don't need everything that they want, and you make sure that you carve out time for yourself. As a woman, you deserve that. Peace of mind, relaxation time to do nothing but sit in a bubble bath and read a book. Their daddy can take care of them and watch them for a while. Take them to the park or some shit while you know, have some good time to yourself. You have to think about self-care in every aspect of the every aspect that you can think of. So, I disagree, Sir Jacoby, with what you had to say. They might have a richer view of marriage and relationships as far as that goes, but the woman better look behind the cover and make sure that that dude's mind is right and that she's not putting herself into a bad situation that she can't get out of. And the last one is also under A Man's Wife is His Greatest Masterpiece video. And I knew this was coming because there's always one. There's always one who wants to cry and whine about what women do. So here he goes. What about a woman trying to make a man feel special? It sounds like the men have to put in all the work to make a woman feel happy. Us as men want to feel special by a woman, and I'm not just talking about just getting sex on a regular basis. It should be give and take, and it should be equal in that situation. No, it's not. It's never been equal, and it never will be. Why? Because men don't do shit. Just think about this, okay? A woman asks you, honey, what would you like for dinner? Okay, all you have to do is tell her what you want. Okay, and why does she ask you that? Because you're special to her. Okay, the fact that she is now going to take what you said you want to eat for dinner, she's going to run her ass to the grocery store, she's going to walk up and down those aisles and wait in that long ass line to check out, drive back to the house, cart the groceries in, and commence to slinging pots and stand over a hot stove, cooking you the meal that you said you wanted. She's going to sit it down in front of you most of you don't even say thank you, you just grunt and start eating. 10 minutes later, the food is done. You stand up and just walk the fuck off. Do you give her a hug? Do you tell her how much you appreciate it? What do you do? Okay, do you help wash the dishes after? You don't do that. But you don't realize that 3 hours that she just spent doing all of that, that's showing you that you're special. That's treating you special. And you should feel special when you see a woman do that kind of stuff for you. But instead what y'all do is you take it for granted. You're just like, well, that's what she's supposed to cook. No, she's not. It's like you said, it should be equal in the situation. Motherfucker, your ass eats too. So you take your ass to the grocery store and you cook dinner sometime. Ask her what she wants. That's equal. Okay, but that's not usually what happens. Okay, and then every time a woman asks you to go to the doctor and get a checkup, she's doing that because you're special. You should feel special that you have somebody in your life that gives a fuck about you on that level. She wants you to be here with her. She wants you to be here to raise your children, to see your grandchildren, and if you're lucky, your great-grandchildren. So she wants you to be healthy and strong and able to handle it for the duration of those decades so that you're right there by her side. Why is she doing it? Because you should feel special that she gives a damn. Every time she washes your clothes and folds them and hangs them up and irons them, she's showing you that you're special. Every time she changes the sheets, without asking you for help, that shows that you're special. Every time she runs errands for you, she's showing you that you're special. Every time she goes to the store and she buys your mama a Mother's Day gift, your mama a birthday gift, and your mama, your sisters, your brothers, and your nieces and nephews Christmas and birthday presents, she's showing you that you're special. Notice all the time and energy that women put into relationships for the men that they love. What do y'all do? Nothing. You want to sit around and bitch and complain and talk about you don't celebrate Valentine's Day and you don't celebrate birthdays because that's nothing but a white man's holiday anyway. So see, that's how you ease yourself out of doing anything for her. Now, I don't know, you ladies need to stop accepting that bullshit. If the dude tells you I don't celebrate birthdays and Christmas and all that kind of stuff, say, well, bye, nigga, because I want somebody who's going to celebrate those days with me. Of course, unless you just don't care, but I would wonder why you don't care. Your birthday is that's a special day. He need to be thanking not only you, but your mama. Okay, your daddy too. So, I look at this kind of stuff, and you guys have kids from your other relationships, your prior marriage, right? The kids come over for the weekend. You don't be the one taking care of them. She does. Why is she doing that? Because you're special to her. All of the things that women do, all the energy and time and effort that they put into taking care of you and the people that they know you care about, that's showing you that you're special. That's treating you special. But you all don't appreciate it. You take it for granted. It means nothing to you. And see, that is the kind of shit, that kind of fucked up selfish attitude is what will get your ass in divorce court. I mean, I keep pointing this out to you guys. You have to change your mentality. Because you guys have, your minds are all kinds of fucked up when it comes to how you're supposed to be treating your woman. You want to listen to these idiots on YouTube talking about, well, you know, you show her all that, you know, you simping, you a wimp, you this and that. Those motherfuckers are single as the day is long. You have a wife, you better treat her like she's special if you want to keep her. That's all I'm going to say. Because, you know, women get tired of your shit and they will bounce. And then you be up here trying to talk about you MGTOW now too. So, you know, these are the things, if you really appreciate the stuff that your woman does for you every fucking day. I mean, she takes the laundry, she matches up your socks and puts them in a little ball in the drawer so you don't have to go and hunt for them. You just grab a little ball out the drawer and put your socks on. That's showing you love and that you're special. But if women do this shit just so naturally, just so happily because they care. And y'all don't even fucking appreciate it. You want to sit up here and post a note like this on my channel and think that I'm going to side with you? Huh? Think again. This kind of shit bothers me. You know, it just makes me just like, why do women even want to be in a relationship with y'all? We got a fucked up attitude. Selfish little pricks. So anyway, that's what I wanted to say. Those are 4 questions that were recently posted on the channel. Like I said, neither one of them was long enough to make a video about on its own, but together they make a nice length little response video. I hope I've answered those questions thoroughly. If not, feel free to post your comment in the comment section below. And visit me on survivingdating.com, askheartbeat.com, or if you're interested in learning about some vegan recipes, you can check out blacksgoingvegan.com. I have a lot of original recipes that I've created that are plant-based, especially if you're dealing with diabetes and hypertension. You know, we got some high cholesterol stuff going on. You better change your diet, especially if you're a dude. This is the kind of stuff we're talking about where your wife want to send your ass to the doctor because, you know, she's worried that you're going to keel over with a heart attack or a stroke. Fix that. Start eating some plant-based. Just eat some black bean burgers and put them greasy chicken burgers and fried chicken and burger things down. All right. This is Deb Cooper with survivingdating.com. I'll be back in another day or two with another video. Bye-bye.